Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. I've had to swap across to StreamYards again for some reason, but that's okay. So I'm just getting myself familiar with it. How are you? I feel like that I'm looking down at you. Nothing's working at the moment. I hope you can hear me. I haven't tested this, so I've got no idea whether anything's working. So hopefully everything's working. Hopefully you can hear everything. Yeah, I hope so. It's showing me that everything's working, but I don't know. I don't know. So I hope you are all well. Yeah. Oh, look, I've got a new background. Oh, look at that. I've got a piano. I like that. So I wanted to just do a catch up on the Anthony Koletti, Melissa Caddick stream. Story. Sorry, this is it's 3:52 on a Friday afternoon. So let's see if I can share the screen. Oh, it says extra camera. I'll have to have a look at this. This could be good. Okay, so we're going to. So this is one of the stories. So one of the things the Liar podcast is doing is grabbing all the stories of the people. So this is she used funds. So Melissa Caddick used funds from her scheme to perpetuate another fraud. So on Christmas Eve 2015, Len Wallace, who runs a high-end audio-visual store, received a furious call from Melissa Caddick complaining that her family's newly installed sound system wasn't working. She refused to pay the last $12,000 of the $122,000 bill. Wow, what a sound system, hey? Not only that, she told Wallace she was leaving for Aspen the day after Christmas. And because the audio wasn't working, she claimed she'd been forced to cancel bookings for 2 tenants who planned to rent her house while she was away. Wallace was stunned to receive a demand letter for $65,000 in compensation for her lost holiday rental. Wow, she sued for $65,000? Liar, Melissa Caddick and the Missy Millons revealed in its season finale. So the first season's done. $65,000. And this is a $2,500 dress that she's in here. So our home was income-producing asset that we can rent over the lucrative Christmas, New Year, school holidays, she said. She claimed that due to the failure of the hardware installed by Len Morris Audio, because of these tenancies, need to be cancelled, and that she had to reimburse $65,000. She also wrote, I've attached for your reference tax invoices, tax receipts, bank transaction, credit and debit records. You will note for confidentiality purposes that I've had to admit the client's details. So she's admitted the details there. So it was number of nights, rate per night, $4,000. There was 2 children and 2 adults. So, wow. Please confirm the $65,000 will be reimbursed within 14 business days, said the email. However, the 2 rental agreements she attached as proof of loss were forgeries. Of course they were. Of course they were forgeries. She did receive the equivalent sums in her bank accounts, but they weren't rental for the Dover Heights home. The deposits were from her 2 victims who thought they were investing in shares. So one of Caddick's employees was adamant that her boss did not like strangers coming into the house. Isn't that interesting? Having received the letter of demand, Wallace had to hire lawyers and an insurance investigator to dispute Caddick's claims. Caddick's claim was denied after an investigator concluded that it was unfortunately Caddick's husband, Anthony Koletti's direct actions in intervening with the equipment that caused the system to fail in its entirety on the 24th of December 2015. Wallace later provided a brand new piece of equipment at no charge to replace what Koletti had broken. And they didn't hear from Caddick again, but neither did he receive the $12,000. Of course, Koletti's declined to comment on that. The final episode of the podcast also reveals the ongoing financial hardship of Caddick's victims. 1 month before she was unmasked, Caddick insisted on attending her oldest friend's 50th birthday. Her friend Kate Horn recalls Melissa wearing a garnish dress which featured patterns of large jewels. When her daughter later Googled the outfit, they were shocked to find the Dolce & Gabbana dress cost $2,500. What the family did not know, that Horn's oldest friend had stolen more than $10 million from her extended family. When Caddick's husband, Anthony Koletti, later showed Channel 7 through his Dover Heights home, they paused at his wife's empty wardrobe. All her fancy designer labels had been seized during the raid, all except one. Still hanging in the wardrobe was that Dolce & Gabbana dress she'd worn at the friend's party. Being Kate's best friend, the treachery behind it all was unbelievable, said Horn's mother, Anne, who lost her life savings as well as her enjoyment of life. It's there all the time. It's sitting in the back of my mind every minute. Everything you do, you think, can I afford this? Should I be doing this? Even grocery shopping, I think before I buy clothes, no, I won't have a wine tonight. So that was from the Bible. But this is the most interesting thing. This is, it says, husband of Melissa missing fraudster. It's funny how they do like to refer to her as a fraudster, I guess she is. Drops claim on her goods. So Anthony Koletti has stated he's abandoned his claim to his wife's possessions, including $2 million worth of jewelry and the proceeds from the sale of their luxury cars. Hello, Ocean. I still play occasionally, not very often these days, Ocean. Sometimes I do. But Koletti wanted to remove himself from the proceedings so he'd get on with his life. His solicitor, Judy Swan, told a brief hearing in the federal court on Wednesday. Swan also submitted that Koletti should not face costs over the legal proceedings. Really, he bought them. Like, hello. In April, Koletti filed a claim over his wife's $30 million proceeds of crime, including her wedding dress, $7 million in shares, 5 John Olsen paintings, and claimed jewelry, which included his white gold onyx cufflinks, valued at $5,600, a $34,000 diamond ring, and his wedding band, valued at more than $26,500. While Koletti's lawyer said he was abandoning his claim relating to the possessions, it was not clear whether this included his claim on the Dover Heights home that his wife purchased for $6.2 million using their 2014 using stolen funds from her investors. The property still has a $4 million mortgage. Well, first of all, mate, you're going to make sure that you can get the mortgage paid off. Koletti, who moved out of the house, lived in the property rent-free. Since his wife disappeared in November 2020, the house will be put on market in coming days. So he enjoyed the high life, we know, up until he married Caddick in 2013. He lived the high life. In an interview with Channel 7 in May, Koletti justified his claims, saying, Melissa never gave me a cent. I always paid for myself. It's not like I was some desperate double bay housewife, which is what everyone thinks. Why wouldn't I be entitled to something? However, when his wife first went missing, he told the federal court that he had $1.95 to his name. He explained that he was employed as a part-time hairdresser, but when COVID-19 lockdown commenced in March 2020, he quit work. As a result, I do not earn an income. My living expenses and those of our Dover Heights household are paid by Melissa Caddick, he told the court in 2020. Koletti's taken to songwriting, as we know, to accuse ASIC of being responsible for his wife's death. He told Channel 7 he's planning legal action against the corporate regulator. I'm going to sue them for everything they've got. Look, I'll be happy with a few $1 million so I can get on with my life. Yeah, a few $1 million will do that. His baseless accusations have led to police applying for an apprehended violence order on behalf of the lead investigator, Isabella Allen. In his most recent musical endeavour, Liar Liar, he lashed out at ASIC, the liquidators of his wife's assets, as well as the media, in particular the Herald, 60 Minutes podcast, and the podcast Liar Liar, Melissa Caddick and the Missing Millions. Of course, he can't blame himself or her, can he? In his song, Koletti claims his wife lost the money trading on the stock market, and the allegation his wife was a con artist was fabricated. They make your cast look neat. To kick her son and I out in the street, you left me with $2, but I landed on my feet. The song concludes with Koletti suggesting the media take him to judge Judy as he has zero left to give. The case was due to return. The case will return to court on July 25 to hear arguments by Caddick's parents, who claim they are entitled to a third of the Edgecliff penthouse their daughter bought for $2.55 million in 2016. They were in their 80s. They claim they had an agreement with their daughter to be able to live there rent free. They also gave $1 million towards the mortgage, but it didn't go on the mortgage. It remained on the lavish lifestyle. So, what do you think? I think it's good that Koletti has actually removed the claim. I don't know how he can have a claim to something that he never owned. I also think it was very, very interesting that he's blaming everybody else. He cannot believe that she could rip people off. What I'd be interested to know is if he's got a relationship with her parents and her family. So, yeah, it's very, very interesting. I'd be interested to see. And the reason that Koletti has said that he's abandoned his claim was the horrible media attention. So, of course, it's always the media's fault. You know, he has not been accused of having any. The thing is, no one's ever said that he had any knowledge to it. No one's ever said that he was party to it. He's as much as a victim as everybody else. But, you know, should he be entitled to extra benefits? For most people who get, for the people that have been ripped off in this, some of them have had to go back to work. So, as I said, I'd be interested to hear what you think. As I said, he's lost his car. The house is gone. And so now he's lost all the jewelry he had. Essentially everything that was alleged to be bought with stolen funds, he's lost entitlement to. So anyway, that's where we are. So what else is happening for everybody? How is everybody going? I'd love to play the grand piano for you, but I don't think it's, it's just the background. Hello, Lacadamon. How are you? Nuts. So, Melissa Caddick. I just find the sympathy for, I just find that Anthony Koletti has no sympathy for any of the alleged victims as well. So he just doesn't seem to care that there are victims in here. I sort of get that he believes he has a sense of entitlement. Does he claim ignorance of where the money came from? Yes. So he's still maintaining that she lost it on the stock market. He believes that she did it legitimately, that they've set her up this is just some story that they've set her up with to try and hide it all. This is what he's saying. These are his claims. And nobody has, there's been nothing even to say that he knew anything about the claims, that he knew what was happening. None of that at all. Nobody has said that he does know. There's been never any allegations about that, but he's, saying, no, they're setting her up. Nobody's setting her up. And so he's making allegations against it. I mean, he's just making allegations about everybody, you know, to say that everybody's wrong. And hey, little Missy, ready for your break? Can't wait to hear and see. Yes, I am ready for my break. It could be, well, I'm in an enforced break at the moment because 2 people in my household have got that virus. And although I've been testing negative, people don't want to see me. I've been sort of isolated into my bedroom just so that I can keep the thing at bay because I haven't had it yet, and I really don't want to get it. And I've got Glen 20 that I spray everywhere, and I wipe everything down. I'm very, you know, and I'm still wearing masks around everywhere. Like, people look at me really weirdly and they go, well, yeah, I haven't had it yet. I don't want it. So there's a reason for that. I don't want it. And my thing, I had a concert that I should be getting ready for today, and that got cancelled as well, just out of precaution. Because here's the thing, here's my whole thing on it, is that we have a duty of care. And I actually struggle with the government regulations. So the government regulations state that as long as you test negative on a rat, you can go about your business. And as long as, you know, if you get 5 out of 7 days, you know, or, you know, as long as you keep testing negative as a close contact, you're fine. But I have an issue as far as duty of care. We have a duty of care for people around us. So if we know that there is a chance, then I think we have to take that. You know, we should have to isolate for a few days. If we've got cold or flu, we're expected to do the same thing, and so that's where I go for it. But anyway, is it late where you are, Terry? Oh, I haven't caught up with the whole. Hello, oh, hello, Bo. How are you? I'm glad you're enjoying the Coffee House Crimes. I've been binge watching it, Bo. I think I've just about watched every single one of them, and every single one of them. I just find Adrian's voice on Coffee House Crime just so relaxing, and the way that he handles each of the crimes is just so respectful. You just feel at the end. And what I've discovered by watching that is that there is a lot of mental health issues that have caused a lot of the big crimes. And there was a sad case the other day where a young man, he was only 18 or 19 or something, ended up, you know, killing people along with himself. The parents were actually begging the authorities to do something, and because he hadn't done anything yet, they couldn't do anything. But you've got to think, if they had actually listened to the parents and had done something, you know, a lot of these crimes could be resolved because people are crying out for help and they're being ignored. If you can handle the smell, bleach is your friend to you. It's funny because my house was cleaned with bleach just the other day. 2 days. My daughter, she tested for 2 days after we spent the whole day together. Wow, yeah, that's a thing, Terry. So, and then my daughter's moving out. She and her boyfriend are moving out, and I'm really sad. So, once they get out of isolation, so they're in their room and I'm staying in my room. So I've got my roller shutters down, letting the air come through, even though it's like cold. Just trying to ventilate the room and do everything. Yeah, so Bo, you're enjoying them too? Yeah, I just am finding the Coffee House Crimes so you know, well, they're horrible crimes, but interesting because he did Melissa Caddick. He did the Melissa Caddick story, which was a very interesting one. Emptiness is, oh yeah, no, I said to it today, I said I was going to cry when she moves out. I'm going to cry. Actually, I might. Yes, I wish there was some special mental health. You know, yeah. Look, and the other thing is, Bo, the other thing that I've discovered is that it's a worldwide problem. It's not just a US problem, a UK problem, an Australian problem. You know, they have the same issues in Japan, in Korea, because he does all over the world. You discover that it's a worldwide problem, and it should be something that we should be tackling as a society. And we've still got to keep removing this stigma. Now, I had a meltdown today, and I just texted somebody today, and they weren't in a good place either. And I just said, look, I'm really sorry, but I'm having a bit of a meltdown. I'll be okay, but I'm just letting you know I'm having a meltdown. And having that person ring to see that you're okay is really important. Let me find. I'm just having a look for the Melissa Caddick one, because the Chris Watts one was the way that he presented. That was interesting. I do like it how he presents the story, and then the victim, and then the perpetrator, and then he sums up and he gives an opinion. And then sometimes he has no words because they've moved out together. Oh no, Terry, that would be horrible. Yeah, that would destroy me. So
there is nothing more terrifying than being fearful of your own.
So anyway, oh yes, it's called he's called it Fraud to Murder. So he did this 2 months ago. Let me just share this. So he did this on the 5th of April. So oops, that went too far. But I mean, I don't know what I'll have to watch it again. But this is the Melissa Caddick one. So this suits the topic we're talking about. So he's called it From Fraud to Murder, the case of Melissa Caddick. I would highly recommend it myself. Again, so it says Melissa Caddick was an unlicensed financial advisor who managed to con $30 million out of her friends and family. Once she was caught red-handed, she vanished off the face of the earth until one formidable discovery was made 100 days later. But does this prove Melissa Caddick's fate? And the other thing that I really like is that he's got it all time-stamped. So, and then he's got a link here to Anthony Koletti's album Raid. He says, please don't send him any hate. He's certainly gone through enough. And then his album. And then he talks about, he's gone through and, the copyright stuff. It's all here. So, it's a very good theories, all the theories. He goes through theories, what now, aftermath. So, and then you get all the comments from people. Lots of comments. 2,933 comments. So it's been discussed a lot. I mean, this is a topic that gets a lot of discussion. But yeah. So that's the Melissa Caddick story from Coffee House Crimes. As I said, I find his voice very relaxing, very sensitive. And I'm not on his payroll yet by sending everybody his way. So, Adrian, if you catch hold of this, it's funny. It must be very hard, but the son, you're doing your job well and prepared your children to tackle the world. Yes. Well, that's true. It is true. So, yeah, anyway. It's definitely going to be interesting. But as I said, they're isolating at the moment because her and her boyfriend are isolating here at the moment because of the virus. He got it from work. So both my are independent and doing well. They thank me all the time for raising them right. Well, that's nice. That is nice. So I just thought because I haven't been on for a while, we'll just have a general chat after this as well. But yeah. I tell you what, some of the Japanese crimes are horrible. I just wish they were longer, but they're so thorough. There is no. Well, that's true, Bo. Some of them are short. Some of them are long. Some of them are longer, and but I think also because some of them are very. I mean, the certain YouTuber we talk about all the time. I mean, if you're going to talk about, to me, that's a balanced. It's a balanced video because it's one perspective, the other perspective, conclusion, and then he adds his opinion at the end or what he thinks at the end, and it's really balanced, and that's how you do videos. I mean, he's got 1.4 million subscribers, so he must be doing something right. I can't, and the research and the attention to detail in each video. Hello, Jimmy, how are you? So yeah, so I would highly recommend that video. I would really recommend checking that out for is that gonna, what does that do? Coffee, and it's called Coffee House Crime. Is the channel that I would recommend subscribing to if you like your crime series. If you like your crime. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. But yeah, I think I've nearly watched them all now. But he did, although he didn't do Gabby Potato because everybody was onto that, he did another case that was it was almost a spinning image of it, except that it was a married couple. Can I be your lawyer? Well, I'm only not. The hunger is overcoming me again. Suggestions. Going to prison for child. Oh, what do I do? Wow. The first video which I said your channel had recommended his channel. Cool. That was good. Thank you, Bo. Yeah, good child. I'm only a learner. I'm only learning, Jared. Good child abuse. Wow. That was nice of you, Bo. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you wouldn't be the first one to have stuff made up. I know somebody that spent 12 months in prison before it was discovered that the allegations were lies, and it was his daughter that lied. It was a nasty case. But he had to do wasting away again in the Margaritaville. Thank you, Terry. Look, I would like to think so. I haven't, yeah. All I'd say, Jared, is that, Gerald, if you can't afford a lawyer, ask for a duty lawyer. At least they will be able to take you through the procedure. But I don't know what country you're in. I don't know what your circumstances are. Because contact the innocents. Yeah, that's in the US. So I don't know what they're. I mean, I always say contact legal aid or a community legal. In Australia, there are community legal places that see people. There's legal aid, but in other places like the US, there's Innocence Project. This flesh is screaming for me. I must feed soon. Are you, Jimmy? Yeah. So, oh, then I can't. If you did it, then you've got to do the time, in my opinion. I am from New South Wales, Sydney. Okay, well, get a duty lawyer. Ask for a court-appointed lawyer if you don't have one. That's all I can say. Hello, Bella Marie. How are you? Good to see you. Well, if you did it, then, and they've got no... That's true. Yeah. Post says, Jimmy, we get it. Go have another margarita and some nachos. But you said you were making that. You said that the child was making it up before. Now you're saying that you did it. So I think you need to make up your mind. Yeah. Okay, Jimmy. Anyone got the feeling we're being trolled here? That's all right. We have some great fun with our trolls. Yeah, I've had a day of doing that. I've had 2 days of doing nothing. I hope this team's winning. Well, I do too. I keep telling everyone the child made it up, and they believe me. I keep winning. My life is awesome. Well, that's great. But as I said, you've just contradicted yourself. So I don't know. And let me tell you that I'm sure that the judge would have heard everybody say, but I'm innocent. They made it up. That's what you go to court for, to sort it all out. Gerald, yeah, I'll time him out in a minute. I've timed him out. And I'm going to do the same to Jimmy as well. Jimmy and Gerald have gone for 5 minutes. See if they come back. Yeah, it's bizarre. Really bizarre. I should put it on subscriber mode, shouldn't I? As I said, I don't mind the trolls. Always will. Always will. As I said, somebody. We do get the trolls. We do, don't we? Always get the trolls. Oh no, we're going to start on this one too, are we? Look, I don't mind blocking everybody if I have to. I'm just going to change this to subscriber only at the moment. And they're going to be a subscriber for 5 minutes. So, Tiny Nachos, probably. We've had some great ones. I mean, I think, well, usually, yeah, tiny eggplants is usually what they have for us. So that should have changed to subscriber mode. So now, so they're going to have to be a subscriber now. That hopefully will help the trolls out, keep the trolls away. I think you could do time if you actually, Richard. Yeah, of course, Richard, you can. What rock have these trolls? I don't know, Terry, but I you know, they come out of somewhere. And look, I don't mind having these discussions with people, but I don't, you know, it's just bizarre. Right, so we'll see whether they come back. But I've, as I said, I've made it subscriber mode. So hopefully that's showing that it's subscriber mode now. They'll go elsewhere to feed. I hope so. I hope so. As I said, I don't mind. I don't mind the trolls. I mind everything else, though. Yeah, I've turned subscriber mode on. Cool, that's good. I just had to check. Good. Long time viewer, first time chatter, how are you? Really? I'm good. Good. Yeah, all I'll say is I've got the block button and I'm not afraid to use it. I'm not afraid to use it. Of course. I figured anyone that wants to. Yeah, well, it's interesting because I just checked my sub count. My sub count's just gone up amazingly. Mr. Big Reviews. Hello, Mr. Big Reviews. I know you're just trolling. It's never too late, Mr. Big Reviews. We call the trolls in. What do you review, Mr. Big? Oh, I'm going on a troll hunt. I'm going to catch a big one. I'm not scared. It's a beautiful day. Oh, Mr. Big Reviews. Hey, oh dear. So I just want to show you. So this, because I put subscribers only mode on. I'll show you this. This is like unbelievable. So when I started this stream, I was sitting on 2,130. And because I put subscribers mode on, just wait for this to refresh. Oh, look. So I started the stream at 2,130. I've gone up 7. So, you know, they're subscribing, overcompensating. Joe going to beat you on the head with a kettle. By overcompensating for something, you know what they say about people that brag. Especially when they're little. So yeah, my sub count's going up. That's good. Interesting though, isn't it? So I believe if we get onto the other topic, the YouTuber. So the Zoom information's been released for the hearing on with Chrisley, which again tells me that it hasn't disappeared. I'll just check to see if anything was filed in 7M, but I don't think it has. I think we're still waiting. We're still waiting. I wonder whether the judge has sat and watched all the YouTube all the Instagram lives. Wonder if that's why it's taking so long, because she just can't believe it. So, yeah, so on the 15th of June, and I apologize, I'm back to using StreamYard for the moment, and I'm just still trying to get used to it all. So we've got the motion hearing. So we knew that there was a hearing on the 20th of July, and it's at 1:30. So notice of motion hearing. I've never understood that, because unless they choose to celebrate the light, it will come out at some point. Someone will do it. It's true. So that was dated the 15th of June 2022. So they've got, the whole motion hearing has been released. Or what's the bet? There's going to be a huge amount of people to watch that one. And the great thing about Zoom is that you don't have to leave your house, so you can be under house arrest and still attend a hearing. And KJ has wishful thinking she will go down one way or another. Wow, I mean, she's going after people are calling her out for going after the Duggars at the moment. So again, and at some point in time, it's going to come and bite her. It's going to come and bite her at some point in time. You'll be watching Terry? I think there will be lots. It's just a shame it's in the middle of my night. So, and I wondered, there was a post that she made today that I couldn't quite work out, because it's called Spilling Tea, and that Bobby and Jim Holt been speaking out on the podcast Sojo Files about the Duggars. And like she goes, back in November, I spoke with them for the first time. So she's had to put in there that she spoke to them first. And I was right. So apparently, your night is my day. Yes, that's right. The decree ordered that the Holt's granddaughter would not visit their home or be around Jim Holt without his son being there. There's no reason given. However, multiple sources have alleged it's due to the concerns of the history of corporal punishment allegedly in the house. There have never been any abuse charges against any of the Holts, but this order in court on file parties agreed that that's interesting. I don't know why, but I do know that sometimes I know sometimes in divorce cases and all that sort of stuff, there are allegations that go around. I think, no, Terry, I didn't watch from now last night. No, I haven't watched it. There's lots I haven't watched. I've got a list of stuff I need to watch. Now that I'm having a break, I might get some time. So I believe it. Her Twitter's calmed. I think her Twitter's calmed down a little bit, hasn't it? Her guess was LBL. Okay, Bella, that's fine. I mean, I tend to stay away from all the drama I know all the drama that's going on. I have to say, Doom is a sub and one of my mods, and I'm interested in seeing the beef he's got at the moment with Roadhog. I find that to be quite entertaining at the moment. See, this is the thing that concerns me. This is what happens when you log in. I mean, she's got a shadow ban on Twitter. So Katie Joy, age restricted adult content, age restricted adult content, age restricted. Twitter is now, and the one that they have that's not 18 plus talks about SA. Like, hello, SA. SA. And then they've got restricted content. Hello. So her stuff's getting banned. Her stuff's getting blocked. This might not be appropriate for people under 18. But I just sort of find it to be very interesting. And I mean, and then it's just interesting that Emily D. Baker comes up as a recommended. That's quite ironic, actually. Yeah. Now, there's something that's really interesting at the moment. So I'm just going to go. There is, I mentioned the other day about PR Guy. And PR Guy, somebody has gone to the court to get the information on this mysterious guy. And PR Guy says, take the bet, Avi. Trends as popular as investigative journalist Jordan Shanks, that's Friendly Geordies, challenges White Ring vlogger Avi Yemeni to a $10,000 bet on whether or not PR Guy is a secret government operative working in the dark shadows of Dan Andrews, that's Supreme Victoria's secret slayer. He's saying, Avi says, a top cybersecurity expert is decoding the data received from Twitter today. But we've already learned that PR Guy set up an account using their unprotected Telstra mobile device and only started to use a VPN the next day. PR Guy is a genius. Now, my thing is, what happens if PR Guy is just a normal guy? And it says, hey, so Friendly Geordie says, hey, Avi, I bet you $10,000 that your PR Guy is a Dan Andrews Stafford conspiracy theory will turn out to be BS. And so this take the bet, Avi, is actually trending because people want to see him take the bet. If you win, I'll pay $10K to your legal fund. However, if I win, you'll have to donate $10K to Dan Andrews' re-election fund. And then PR Guy says, take the bet, Avi. Given that you're so sure, Avi, this should be an easy 10K. And then he says, imagine you had the balls to debate me on camera instead of sitting behind your keyboard and editing my videos to win an argument. That's Friendly Geordies there. Avi, let's do it. When and where? Bankstown Station. Your best 10 arguments against my best 10. No mercy for stooges. So you've oh dear me. So it's becoming a bit of a he says all sorts of things. He does say all sorts of things. But this take the bet, Avi, is actually trending. Oh dear. So right-wing activist Avi Yemeni is one step closer to testing theories about PR Guy. Yemeni says he believes PR Guy works in Dan Andrews' office and told Sky News it will be a big scandal for the Victorian Premier when the truth is unmasked. PR Guy and Dan Andrews continue to live rent-free in Avi's head. Yeah, so PR Guy, given that you're sure, ask Abby about this. What does Avi Yemeni and Tasmania have in common? One is refusing to take a bet, and the other one is refusing to take a bet. So for those of you that are overseas, there was a senator called Eric Betts. He lost a seat in the Senate, so that's a joke. Will convicted wife basher Avi Yemeni take on Friendly Geordie's bet? Take the bet. Take the bet. Avi is trending, and I am PR guy 17. What you gonna do? And Avi says, he says, take the bet. Avi isn't trending and was never trending. But what's another life and PR guy? By the way, I work for a registered news org, but somehow Jordan Shanks, who works for himself, is an investigative journalist, and I'm just a vlogger. LOL. Time's almost up, and then he's got "Don't cry, PR guy." Hashtag take the bet. I heard about that. Or was it just your mates? Yeah. So you can see that it's getting, it's becoming a bit of a Twitter war. When he loses, he'll try another crowdfund grift. Avi Yemeni and Tim Smith, two of Victoria's finest parasites. Oh, look, like a David. Look, there's the chopping board. Why not take the bet, Avi? Thinking of all the chopping boards you could buy with 10K. Avi currently lodging court papers to take Jordan Shanks to court for defamation, claiming that Jordan is secretly PR guy's personal assistant in Dan Andrews' saga. Avi unsure what to do with the big bet. Hey, Avi, here's your opportunity to put your donated QAnon cult money where your mouth is. Jordan Shanks is giving you a free pass to feel big. I would personally like to know the identity of PR guy so I can buy him a slab and personally thank them for all the work they've done to ensure Australia's news is factual and fair. More than I can say for the sad loser hounding PR guy. PR guy is sort of a little bit of a cult hero. I'm particularly enjoying how Avi Yemeni is generating an even stronger and more committed support base for PR guy 17, someone who helps. A lot of economic and political news out today, but Friendly Geordies versus Avi with 10K down has to be the best action in town. If he doesn't take it, he's mocked. If he does, he's robbed. The humanity, sheer comic genius. Terry says, I was going to say, if I don't learn Australia politics from you, I learn from Friendly Geordies. He did a really good one today about the energy crisis. And in fact, a former government minister said today that the opposition had 9 years to work out how to govern. They've been in government for 2 weeks, and apparently they're not happy with the way that they're governing. Like, hello. It's time for Avi Yemeni to put his money where his mouth is. Is he so confident PR guy works for Dan Andrews? He'll take the bet. He won't take the bet. I take the bet, Avi. What have you got to lose if you believe what you say? I stand with Dan. Take the bet. If Avi testifies in court, does he sit on phone books like a kid at the barber? And does his security personnel take the stand with him so Avi doesn't get nerky and shaky like a yapping chihuahua? Oh, I'm waiting with anticipation. Will you actually take the bet, Avi? Love your work, Friendly Geordies. Keeping it real and calling out other players, no matter who or what. Has Avi agreed to take the bet, or is he too much of a coward, as one would assume a wife-bashing dog would be? There's been some allegations, as I said. Is that a chicken on a shopping block? Avi actually molding right now. So apparently he blocked somebody. I got this off my gaming account. So everyone's trying to get it to take the bet. Put the money of the poor sods that support you. To me, Avi sounds jealous of you, Friendly Geordies. He's jealous of the fact you actually get taken seriously by people, and he doesn't. He'll never take the bet as he's not confident of his convictions about PR Guy 17. And I hope it proves him wrong. So this Avi Yemeni's got Twitter to agree to reveal who PR Guy 17 is. So he believes that this guy is some person that works in the Premier's office, and I just read Abby's DV court case loss. Yeah, there's some, he got a bit of a temper, I believe. So this is him. Rebel News. About time took you long enough. Take the bet. So he's blocking everybody that has said free speech. For somebody that likes free speech, he's blocking a lot of people. Who else thinks PR guy is Christo? So there's lots of ideas as to who this PR guy 17 is. There was trending I am PR guy in defense of PR guy. So, I mean, and the fact is he's saying that this PR guy didn't use a VPN and obviously meant that the person's not anybody that's, you know, I was going to say important, but PR guy has been very good with getting, usually PR guy says it, it's usually right. So that's what I've discovered. So you learn a lot from both of us. Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles the government because, you know, there's some, you know, he's promised to call out the new government as well. So I hope that. So yeah, look, I think I might head off in a minute. I just I'll head off in a minute. Oh, hello, Angela. I saw you there. I think if I didn't say hello to you earlier. So yeah, it's very, very interesting to see what's, you know, all the political stuff that's happening. I try and pick out the fun stuff, not the boring stuff. I like the fun stuff, the insults and the name calling. And we haven't heard anything from Barilaro over the last few days. As I said, they've put in their submissions. I believe Google's got, I think, until the 21st to respond. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens because if, as was pointed out, if Google pays Barilaro, it could open the field for more. He could open the door for more cases coming Google's way. If they choose to ignore it, then it will be interesting. So, new court filing from Mr. Caddick. So let's have a look at this quickly. This is 4 pages. This is an interlock. So this is an application. So interlocutory process. So this is an application. So this is on the facts stated in the supporting affidavit, the applicants Barbara Ann Grimley and Edward Grimley apply for the following relief. So remember that on the sale of the property located the Dover Heights property, the first respondents, Bruce Gleason, and the receivers in their capacity as joint and several receivers of the property of Louise apply the proceeds of sale to discharge any liability of Miss Caddick to the second respondent, National Australia Bank, secured over the property at Edgecliff property. So what they're saying, what they want is they want the proceeds of the Dover Heights house to be paid to be put onto the property that they are living in, and that NAB be joined in this proceeding for the purpose of the relief sought in paragraph 3. So that the Honourable Court refer issues relating to the interests of the applicant in the Edgewater property to mediation. So they want to go to mediation with the applicants, the receivers, and NAB. So that the mediation be conducted by an appropriate mediator. If they can't find an appropriate mediator willing to conduct on a pro bono basis, a private mediator, and the mediator's costs will be the costs of the receivers, of the receivership, or the register of this court to be a cost to be reserved. So what they want to do, they want to go into mediation. They want the receivers who have charge over the property, the applicants, which are the parents, and the bank, because the bank has the mortgage, to go into mediation and to try and work out a way that the Grimeys don't lose their house. Remember, they've stated that they gave $1 million to that house, and it was a $2 million house. There's a mortgage on that house. So they want the house, the Dover Heights house, which was Caddick's house, the proceeds to be first supplied to the house that they're living in, and that they mediate how it's going to be all divided up. That's what they're doing. And they've added the National Bank, the National Australia Bank, to it for the mere purpose of being able to negotiate. So essentially, when the property is sold, it usually goes to bank gets their bit, and then it gets divided up. So they want it divided up so that they can get what they believe they're owed. So I mean, I think that I think that they should be able to get their money back. But the fact is, they sold their house for that house. With Anthony, what does Koletti think about what happened to his in-laws? Surely there is some concern. I mean, that his in-laws are going to be. I mean, he's talking about how homeless he's going to be. He doesn't care about his in-laws. They gave all their life savings, sold their house, and gave everything to their daughter to invest, and she didn't do it. She actually probably bought one of his Audis with the money or something, one of his cars, or bought something, had funded the lifestyle with the money that they gave. And so now they're looking at being homeless, and they're in their 80s. How can her parents start life again? So they're really just trying to, I think, from what I can, they would like to keep that house. They would like to do whatever they can to keep that house. They didn't believe that they were of the understanding that if they paid the $1.1 million to Caddick, that they could live in that house for the rest of their life rent free, because that was it all comes down to whether there was if there was ever anything signed. And may I just always say to you, always get things in writing. But then it comes down to whether the court believes that there was an offer made and whether there was a contract made. I mean, you can have a verbal contract; they're just harder to prove. And there's a few things that need to be. There's a few elements that need to be proved where there is a contract. And at face value, from what I've seen, there's probably enough elements to say that there was a contract. The parents have paid money for a part of the house. See, I don't know why the parents couldn't have been added. I don't know why the parents weren't part of the house. Like why their names weren't on the title. I don't know why they didn't get title, why they didn't get onto the title. Because if they had title, if they were on the title, it would have been a lot better. So that's all. I mean, that's how I see it. I would be beside myself like Terry is at as well, and so I sort of see it like that. But I just cannot believe the such disrespect and disregard that Koletti seems to have for everybody else but himself. I mean, in theory, shouldn't he be responsible for 50% of the debts incurred from the time that, if they married in 2013, if you say that 50% was his, shouldn't he be paying off all those debts, 50% of it? I mean, let's face it. I would be. So that's just my 2 bods worth on that. I don't know how I feel, and I mean, And he also Koletti also has the power to be able to go back and get a job. He's 39, and he was working as a hairdresser. I mean, I see that there's lots of jobs for hairdressers everywhere at the moment, but I don't suppose that he wants to work as a lowly hairdresser. He was working for a I was going to say fancy, one for the stars type thing, and a celebrity hairdresser. And I would imagine that that's what he wants to work for, not a lowly one that you'd find. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. A job is a job, right? There's lots of complaints at the moment because the minimum wage has just gone up. Is going up by 5.1% in Australia. And there was a cafe owner that was crying because he said he doesn't know how to pay his staff. But it was interesting because last week I spoke to a cafe owner that said that the young people can go to McDonald's and earn more money than what they would make making coffees in a cafe, and said if the wages went up, he would probably be able to work less hours because he'd have jobs filled. So it's a bit of a catch-22. You've got places looking for staff, but the pays aren't great. But now that they're going up, it might be people might actually go, yeah, I can live off that. But anyway, there's always two sides to every story. I just hate it how the media only focuses on the businesses, the poor businesses, not the poor little worker. Parent will always help them. Yes, that's right. I mean, and getting back to the parent will always help their child. Could you? I mean, how imagine knowing that what you did caused your parents to be homeless. So, so anyway, it's just very interesting as to how that is all playing out at the moment. That study shows increased wages sectors not increased business compensations. Yes, and the other thing is, Bo, is that businesses have had lots of tax cuts as well. The cafe are paying this, McDonald's. Well, possibly. It depends. Depends on their age and everything. But I do believe they're on the same. I do believe they're on the same award, actually. So that's my understanding. I could be wrong, but well, who else do we know, Terry, that has no regard for feelings? So yeah. Oh wow, this is just pointless, useless stuff. This has just come up on my feed. This is a sheep, weighed 18 kilos. It got lost. Oh, I know a story about a lost sheep. Have a look at this story. Have a look at this story. This is cool. I don't know. It could. Look at it. Look at this wool on it. Guess what it's going to have done to itself? I bet the sheep feels better. There you go. Look at it. Now it's got a coat on it. Look, it's got a coat. There you go. It says, after being rescued by a crew of 18 Good Samaritans, sorry, I was wrong. It was 18 Good Samaritans, a lost sheep carrying a whopping 26 kilos of wool has been gifted a much-needed shave. 26 kilos. Whoa. Hey, if only weight loss was that easy, hey? So 18 Good Samaritans, 26 kilos of wool, and it got to have a haircut. Wow. Oh, dear. Where can I go to lose 26 kilos like that? Oh. You can just see that I'm just like wasting time at the moment, hey? Oh, dear. 10, I think there's more than that. I've seen several of those. I'm kind of addicted to sheep, llama, and a pack of shearing. Forgetting Australian things in my Actually, there is something really nice about watching sheep being shorn. It really is. It's really fascinating, actually, to see how it's all done, and how they're held so they don't get kicked and everything. It's a really big art, and they actually have shearing competitions now, all based on time and how fast, how close the cut is, and whether it can, if the wool can come off in one lot. It's amazing. I like watching them prance. They feel like new. I know. Oh. They prance around. Well, they've lost all that weight. Don't you feel? Oh, Pauline Hanson retained her Queensland Senate seat, by the way. She kicked out another Liberal. So there you go. I sometimes feel like prancing after I've had my hair cut, actually, because my hair is so thick that they actually have to take a huge amount off. They usually have to thin it out, and so I always say that I've lost about 5 kilos. So yeah. So I think on that note, I might leave it there. We could leave you with that sheep. 26 kilos of wool. You like my hair? Thank you, Bella. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit thick. It does need a little bit of a trim down, a bit of a thinning out. Yeah. So as I said, make sure that you look at Coffee House Crime. Coffee House Crime. As I said, he did one on Melissa Caddick, which I really like. I'll just post that again for you. As I said, his actual his voice is so soothing. It really is. It's amazing how he can tell you, like, and he's so sensitive. There's a certain YouTuber that could really learn from him, the way that he does his videos, the way that he gives both sides of the story. He often will tell you about the perpetrator's backstory. And there's always it's interesting though, very rarely is a crime committed by somebody that's had a really good life, by the way. It does happen, but often there is something that's happened, or there is some trigger point, or something's happened in their life and they've grown up bitter, or they've grown up with some type of issue that has never been stopped. Sparse and baby fine. Really? Yeah, see, it's interesting. You always want what you can't have or you don't have. For me, yeah, I like the thickness. So, yeah. Yeah, mine just gets too thick. So, anyway, my son's got thick hair as well. My daughter's got the thin hair. So, anyway, I will be back. I'm probably back sometime next week at the moment. I'm just, as I said, I've just, I don't know. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen because I don't know. I've still got a couple more days. I think tomorrow if I get another negative tomorrow, I can say I'm not going to get it, or I've dodged the bullet. But as I said, I've got that little bug in my house at the moment. So we've got 2 out. And I've got the Glen 20 spray, the hand sanitizer, the disinfectant, the bleach, everything's out. And I've just been in my room. So it was good to talk to you all today. So thank you. You can do it. I haven't done one with Harrison for a while, Bo. He's a very busy young man at the moment. He just the other week he had he's had 2 camps recently. So he started going to another school. He's gone to a school for where he's going to get one-on-one support because of his special needs. And he's doing 3 days at that school and 2 days at his normal school. And so that next year he'll do 5 days at the new school, and he's really enjoying it. And it's amazing what happens when you have the support structure to help somebody. So, you know, he's doing a lot more. Yeah. Oh, I'm okay, Bella. It's my daughter. She's got the virus. I don't have it. I've still dodged it at this point in time. I think I don't know how much I can. Don't know how much longer I can though. But anyway. I will catch you again soon. But as I said, I'd be interested to hear what you think about Coffee House Crimes. As I said, I'm not affiliated with you. I've just a channel that I've discovered and I really like, and I'm all up for, you know, promoting good channels. I'll say hello to Harrison for you all. Don't you worry about that. All right. So until next time, I'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.